Not on yet. There we go. Okay. This is the regular Tuesday, 3:30 meeting, April 22nd. And let us begin with a pledge to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Riddell.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Here.
We have a quorum. Under resolutions number 1, investments,
Move to approve.
Second?
discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations,
Motion to approve?
Second.
discussion.
Yes, look at the appropriations. KC number 4, that's the current, that's the current project on Lake Avenue from 254 South.
That's correct.
Anything further?
Nope.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Number 3, transfers,
So moved.
Second?
discussion.
I think we're gonna have a discussion,
Quickly.
or
Yes.
or longly.
Yes, want to draw attention to item number 2. This is a transfer departmental reimbursement for vacation and unused sick time for 2 people. And the commissioners are going to be working on a guidance and a policy for going forward that we hope other departments will do. But my understanding was that most of these people were signaled they were going to retire at the end of the year when the sheriff retired. But that was never allowed for in the budget. And when we start making these, $79,000 to $80,000 unbudgeted expenditures, it gets pretty difficult to stay on budget. So just want to make that note. They earned it. It's theirs. However, we need to allow for it in the budget process.
I think we could debate all day on whether or not these 2 gentlemen earned it. I don't
sheriff
want
gave it to 'em.
the sheriff, well, no, our current sheriff was stuck with this because the previous sheriff signed an agreement in which only a few or a handful that were granted benefits that not everybody could get. So I talked to the sheriff in regards to those big payouts that these people are benefiting from. I'm not happy with it. I thought maybe we could vote no and really do it, but they've already been compensated. And it's affected our current sheriff's budget because of the dealings, I should say, of the previous sheriff. And I don't think our new sheriff should have to suffer from some of these deals that were made before he took office. I think that's all I'm going to say about that.
A policy will be coming.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there is some question whether the sheriff had the authority to engage in an agreement or a contract with employees without the approval of the commissioners in the first place. So the commissioners were unaware of this particular arrangement.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of things that went on last year in the sheriff's office that we're unaware of. Hopefully we'll get to the new sheriff will hopefully get to the bottom of a lot of the activities that were going on over there, so.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments,
Move to approve.
Second?
discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Number 5, requisitions,
Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I have an issue in regards to item number 930. I talked to the sheriff earlier today in regards to that. He was in some meetings, so we really never connected. I did ask for copies of the contract in regards to that item. And I got a text from him about 20 minutes ago saying it was sent, but have you got it?
Like 3 o'clock, about a half hour ago.
About a half hour ago? Yeah, so I think, until until Casey and our county administrator reviews it, I'd like to somehow hold item number 930 till Friday's meeting. That's okay with the board.
I would agree.
You
as well.
agree? Anything else?
I do.
Yeah.
Just want to say a couple things. It's refreshing, some of the hard work a little bit prior to me becoming a commissioner. These two commissioners, our legal bills are down significantly from past meetings, which hopefully this will be a new trend going forward. And nice work on that from you guys, I will say that.
I think the reason why is no longer here, so thank you.
I do want to note on page 3, the continuing public information, you'll see items 931, 32, 33, all dealing with, pharmaceuticals for the inmates at the Lorain County Jail. We continue to be the largest detox facility in the county, as well as dealing with mental health issues and so forth. And the budget for the jail for the year for pharmaceuticals will probably approach about $1 million.
Anything further?
How are we going to make the motion? We already made a motion in a second, so we just make the exception as we vote? Okay.
Just a hold till Friday, correct?
Okay.
9:30? Mhm. Commissioner Riddell?
Yes, with the exception of 9:30.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Yes, with the exception of 9:30.
Commissioner Moore?
Yep, I will say yes with the exception of 9:30.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Page 1. Can we have page 2, please? That's the sum of the general fund. And on page 3, we have a short list of special revenue funds.
Motion to approve.
Oop, we have
Oh,
page
we have one
4.
more, I'm sorry.
We have page 4.
Now motion to approve.
Now motion to.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G 1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise, during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because of the confidentiality of such matters is necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate on the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
My understanding, we're gonna be going into executive.
We will have a short executive session. The administration staff has asked to discuss labor contract.
And hopefully we can go in and out before our 4:30
Yes.
public
Do you
hearing.
want to,
We'll wait on this until.
No,
come-
we can,
Well, there might be some discussion in regard to personnel too, depending on when we go in. Is there gonna be, or you guys have any discussions with personnel today or no?
no.
Oh, I guess.
But there's one
We do want to
exception
make one
today.
correction.
Yeah.
Oh, there is, okay. So we can vote on this then? You wanna,
Yes, with the
Okay.
correction that that Ann Hetchko is starting on,
May 2nd.
no? You wanna put on
Or,
here,
I'm sorry, April 28th.
yeah, you got May 5th here.
Yeah,
You wanna-
May 5th is what it is.
Yeah,
It's
it
April
should say,
28th.
it should
Should
say
say
April
April
28th. Yeah. /28.
We can put that up, though. And that way, when we get done with executive session, we won't have anybody waiting to see that.
Okay, move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Dow.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Want to say anything about Amy? Since you know he's finally getting an assistant again, so. Now would be the time.
Amy, you're gonna be off the hook.
There you go. So, just
I
thought,
don't
yeah.
believe there was any public comment on agenda items, correct? I think that was
That's
just for
correct.
the, okay. Is there any old business?
Yeah, I'd like to post that up. We've had some pretty regular, I would say, differences of opinion on transparency, so I thought in the interest of transparency, I would post the definition that I particularly use and try to lead this board into using, and that definition may be different than what some other people have, but nonetheless, I think it's appropriate and satisfactory for the commission. And I wanted to put it out there so that those who wonder what transparency really means could take a look at it and see if we can't get on the same definition and have more productive conversation. So that's all I have for old business.
Any further old business from the commissioners?
No.
Okay. Under board business, number 9, approve and waive the reading of the county commissioners meeting minutes of April 11th and 15th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 10, amendment to Lorain County Commissioners Compensation Plan to include new hearing officers classification. Said position shall be seasonal, approximately from the month of March through May, or as needed, to be paid on a per diem basis not to exceed $200 unless modified by resolution.
So moved?
Second?
Discussion.
Yeah, I'd like to explain this. This is adding a classification. We're not adding a full-time employee, but in speaking with the real estate industry and working on the Board of Revision, the commissioners have a seat on there. And thanks to my colleagues electing me to be the president of the board, it was my fortune to have that seat. However,
You
Were
weren't
you
here.
late to a meeting?
That's what happens.
however, that particular position, in talking to some real estate people, we developed a plan to use a group of 6, 8, 10 rotating real estate people with good licenses and good business histories, and have them sit at the Board of Revision because they are, in our opinion, much more accurate on the current market conditions than we, the commissioners, would be. And so we had to create the position in order to satisfy the regulations we work under. My saddest part of the commentary is that I had all these people were willing to donate their time for the sake of the county and the citizens that were trying to appeal their tax situation. But we ran into a stumbling block. The auditor informed us that we have to pay them. So if we're going to pay them, then they're not a voluntary board appointment like the airport board or the Mars board or those. They are now an employee because we're by virtue of paying them. So I regret that we had to do this, but I still think it's the right way. And by all those who participated, including the citizens that we've talked to, they really enjoy having somebody that knows and understands the real estate market, and they feel they're getting a fair shake, they're getting a fair hearing, and we're very proud of the change we made.
Yep. Basically, the statute said that you couldn't volunteer. You had to be an employee.
Had to
Of
be an
the county.
employee of the commissioners.
And
And you'd probably never get an employee that's a true professional that's in real
Right.
estate.
right, so
You'd never get that.
no, Jeff worked hard at getting a rotation of several people like realtors and experts in the field. Took a lot of time and energy that Jeff did this.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get hit saying, sorry, that you have to compensate people, they have to be employees. So that was the snag we hit. And so,
Very hard work you did.
When the process is done this year, my understanding is we're close to 1,200 appeals for taxes. When the process is done, we will do some kind of a publish or an honor recognition of the people that gave their time to do that.
Anything further?
Nope.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Sanitary Engineer 11, award and enter in contract with the R.A. Boros Excavating, Inc. of Monroeville, Ohio, in the amount of $289,297 for the Rosewood Street Water Line Replacement Project. 6 bids were received on April 3rd, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. Work consists of replacing nearly 1,170 linear feet of 8-inch water line on Rosewood Street from Gladys Avenue to Grace Avenue. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract to be completed by August 31st. Authorize administrator to notify the auditor to release retainage at completion of the project, and this will be paid from the sanitary engineer projects account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, you want to post those and be picked up on the
Here,
screen?
you want this?
You mean just the resolution
Yeah.
here?
Just the bids, yeah.
I like seeing that many bids, by the way.
I figured you'd like that.
Okay, just for the record, those were the bids we received, and you can see the spread. That's all I have.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Dale?
Aye.
Number 12, amend resolution number 20-57, adopted January 28th to 25, entering contract with Hula Construction in the amount of $923,757 for the Lake Avenue Sanitary Extension Project. This amendment is to reflect the correct account should be Lake Avenue Sanitary Extension Project.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Under the airport, 13, extend the lease with NeoX Systems, Inc., Amherst, for space at Lorain County Regional Airport. This is effective retroactive from March 1st of 25 through February 28th of 26. And NeoX System will pay $4,116 per year or $343 per month.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Engineer, 14, authorize the Lorain County Engineer Ken Carney to execute grant agreements with Ohio Public Works Commission for round 39 applications. 1, nickel plate diagonal road reconstruction. Estimated cost is $385,000. OPWC funding request is $284,900. Local funding will be made available from the account MVGT Engineering Projects. 2, Powell South Amherst Road resurfacing, South Amherst Village to State Route 511. Estimated project cost is $2,575,120. OPWC funding request is $515,024. NOACA funding is $1,778,415. Local funding will be made available from the MVGT Engineering Projects account. 3, Chestnut Ridge Road Safety Improvement, Elyria North Ridgeville. Estimated cost is $789,050. OPWC funding request is $157,810. CEAO safety funding is $611,360, and the local funding will be made from the MVGT Engineering Project account. 4, Oberlin Leary Road Roundabout. Estimated project cost is $1,749,840. OPWC funding request is $349,968. CEAO safety funding is $1,399,872, and no local funding is required.
So moved?
Second.
Discussion.
Bob, would you like to address that term OPWC?
Actually, that's a good question, Commissioner. Like, OPWC is the Ohio Public Works Commission. In fact, Commissioner Moore has brought this up many times along with us, that it's actually on the ballot this coming up on May 6th, I believe, the Tuesday election, to renew it. It's a state-issued bond program that makes funding available to local governments for infrastructure. In this case, we were successful with the last round, and we're required to actually get authorization from the county engineer to enter into this grant agreement. So I would encourage everyone to vote yes on issue 2 in May.
But this is, we're getting a lot of, but the match dollars that you get from here is just the account that you're running low on, that we're gonna be discussing at 4:30 today?
These one,
Or where
these
did,
projects, again, what we try to do with Ohio Public Works is we apply, because it's a competitive grant that we apply for within
Okay.
our district. So we would either use the permissive fees that we're hoping to acquire for local matches for these projects, or a lot of times we can use OPWC money to match, federal projects as well. But at the end of the day, there's only so much OPWC we have to compete for. That shortfall is what we were looking for in that permissive fee thing.
Okay.
I have a colleague who watches these videos. She says that she can't hear the mic.
Better?
I'll wait to see if she's actually.
Bob's a soft talker too, though.
That's right.
I was pretty loud.
Oh,
And-
well, for Bob, yeah, for
Just
you,
were.
but,
And I would like to take the time to reiterate that the bond issue, the commissioners have unanimously supported it. It is not a reduction in taxes if it fails. It's not an increase in taxes. It's a process whereby the state of Ohio takes a piece of the budget that pays the bond, and it can't be used for anything else. So by doing the bond issue, it secures those funds from being tapped for any other use, and they almost exclusively go to local villages, townships, and so forth for projects that don't get regular funding from ODOT direct like the big cities do.
I think trustee Neil Lynch, who's actually in the audience, or I'll put him on the spot, but he made it pretty obvious at the trustee meeting, it'd be something, if it doesn't pass, we won't get the funding for local projects, and our taxes will not go down.
Correct. And one of those rare occurrences, the Chronicle Telegram has endorsed it with the commissioners.
Unfortunately, these two commissioners have put me also on as an alternate to Public Works
Yes.
of the other two commissioners.
yeah, but you weren't there, so that's why you got on there.
So thank you,
Yeah.
Bob.
But I would have
Again-
wanted to be on it.
Yeah, okay.
I'm so sorry. She still cannot hear.
Yeah,
So
sorry,
we don't know if
Bob.
there's just something wrong
Maybe
with
it's
the
a
mic.
battery issue.
Yeah, well, we'll make him come up to the podium then. He might have to get him some cardio in.
I think it's dead.
Oh. Thanks for the, at least we know who the other person that watches our meetings is.
Right, exactly. The one other person.
Okay, well, that's okay. We're probably.
That works.
There it goes.
Operator error, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Teresa?
Okay, Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
Number 15, award and enter in contract with Miller Cable Company of Green Springs, Ohio, in the amount of $346,500 for the North Ridge Road, Elyria Avenue Signal Improvement Project. 3 bids were opened on April 3rd, this being the most responsive complying with specifications. Work consists of replacement of existing traffic signal at the intersection North Ridge Road and Elyria Avenue, as well as minor resurfacing, new signage, pavement markings. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract. Work completed on or before August 31st. Authorize administrator to notify the auditor to release retainage at completion of project and will be paid from the engineer's project account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Would you like to post those also? And we got 3 bidders on this, but the good news is the bids were very tight, much tighter than the ones that we saw on the earlier resolution where we had about a 40% spread between high and low. This time, we're about 20%. Thank you.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
16, enter and approve an contract with Quality Control Services Cleveland in the amount of $49,649 to provide construction administration and inspection services for LOR CR1 12.28 project in Sheffield and Elyria Townships. 90% will be funded by the Ohio Department of Transportation, balance of the project cost, or 10% will be made available from the Engineer Professional Services account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
17, enter in consulting service agreement with Burgess Nyepel Mentor in the amount of $25,000 to assist with general engineering services for Lorain County Engineers Office. Burgess Nyepel will provide general engineering consulting services on a task order basis with fees based upon the number of hours, and this will be paid out of the engineer project account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
County Administrator's update.
We have a report on 2 items today. On April 11th, we were notified by Tina Morris, who's actually our grant writer that works with us and works not only in the state of Ohio, but Washington, D.C. Tina does an outstanding job, and actually we talk to her on a weekly basis with regards to what grants are available in Washington, D.C., as well as what grants are going to be released here in the state of Ohio or in any place that we can use, because she's got a team of grant writers that she uses, and they do just a great job. But on April 11th, we received this call from Tina and said Senator Husted, as well as the other senators, were releasing some $10 million availability for a grant for local projects, and then more than just the Lorain County, but for the state of Ohio. It's competitive bids, competitive grants. So that was on April 11th. On Monday, we received notice that all the information had to be there by Thursday of the following week, which was actually Friday the 18th, which is Good Friday. And we put our team together here with Tina, and were able to meet that deadline, and actually took all the information that we have been working on for the past 3 years with the mega site and in our sewers on the west side and Baumhart Road, and put it together and asked for $10 million towards that project, which is obviously more than $10 million. But we're going to put this together, and hopefully Senator Husted is able to bring some bacon back to Lorain County. How's that? I mean, if it's 10, if it's 1, if we get 1 penny, it's worth it. So these are the kind of things, and then in that week's period, we were able to put together, obviously, the college, Lorain Community College, as a letter of support. Lorain County gave us a letter of support. You 3 commissioners, letter, if you read it, this is pretty good. You did a great job writing this letter. Karen did a great job writing the letter for you that you signed, but it's just outstanding, because it really gives us some history of what we've been going through and how Lorain County is planning for the future for our kids to have jobs. And including in that, obviously, then Chamber of Commerce and Team NEO, which is the non-government agency that we work with out of Cleveland, Team NEO. So those 4 letters went along with this, and letter of support. And I take my hat off to the team. We got it done in 4 days and put it together. Pretty nice package. Then this morning,
Just one little side note, after we did all that work, got it all done on time, actually a little early, they extended the deadline.
Maybe you're first in line. There you go, you're first in line.
Sounds like you guys did great work. Thank you.
It was fun.
we should get extra credit for getting it in on time, that's for sure. That's an A+ instead of just an A.
Sounds like we were the only ones that applied.
Well, we might have been in timely fashion, that's probably right, but you know, that really should mean we should get our $10 million, how's that? First in,
Agreed.
first out, we followed the rules, didn't we?
20, you could-
Should be eligible for the second round.
And then the second item, I'm happy to report, we have all the towers for their communication. They will be under construction by this coming Thursday.
Well, this Thursday, wow.
And we've worked out all the details with Sheffield Village. We've worked out all the details with Northern Ohio Water. The details with the fairgrounds is done. And Oberlin, I believe, is, if not signed, we at least know all of the checks are being cashed. So that means that maybe they haven't signed the agreement, but they've taken money. How's that?
That's consideration.
That's your
Am I right,
consideration.
Lee?
So we have a,
You could go into government entities, and what kind of responsibilities, I would bore the daylights out of everybody.
well, that's a day to celebrate today, because we've been working extremely hard to get all these towers up. And the schedule that we've got, actually July 25th, should be the day, unless rain and things stop us, but that would be the day that the towers actually, the end of July, the towers will be all completed, and we'll be in our testing phase and beat the leaves coming down that September, October, so that we can do the testing in the whole entire county for that guarantee by Motorola. Look forward to the success, and certainly look forward to all of it. And look forward to looking at the hard work we did to get it to this point, but it's outstanding, and we got it to this point, and we're moving forward and still on schedule.
Amen. Good work.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Again, great job.
We look forward to even better news shortly after Labor Day.
One last thing, our sheriff and his sheriff's office has embraced this program 100% at this point, and it really is nice to have Sheriff Jack Hall on board, and as we give them portables and work through the process as to how they're going to be able to communicate in the field, not only with the townships, but with the cities, and to work through that process. Karen, you have anything to say?
Oh, I was just gonna mention that the sheriff has worked very hard on getting his radio order together. So if you all remember, there was a limited number of radios that the previous sheriff's office had requested. So we've since been able to work with Motorola and Sheriff Hall in order to provide the right type of radios for each type of service the sheriff provides. So he did a wonderful job on that.
And he also discovered boxes of Mark's radios that were given out years ago that were still in the same box, still never used, and never uncrated, which is a travesty.
And
That completes my report.
Are they all out of date?
We're going to be able to use them. We're going to have to put new batteries and refurbish and make them work. But they were actually in the same package that they came in. Never been taken out of the box.
Sorry, I'm not shocked.
Okay, thank you.
This Thursday at 8 a.m. will be the Visitors Bureau meeting for correspondence.
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher?
Aye.
New business?
Nope.
Public comment.
Public comment, Randy Taylor.
That's not me.
Please come up to the mic and state your name and address. And let's try and keep it under 2 minutes.
Oh, I plan to. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm Bobby Taylor, Director of Planning.
Bobby, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I look like a Randy. So. Director of Planning and Grantsmanship at the Lorain County Community Action Agency. Today, I'd like to share our innovative VIA voucher program, which addresses a critical challenge facing our most vulnerable residents: transportation barriers to accessing essential services. Through a mini grant from the Lakeland Community Fund, facilitated by the Community Foundation of Lorain County, we're providing prepaid vouchers for the VIA LC on-demand transit service. These vouchers enable low-income residents to reach our offices and fulfill referrals to partnering agencies and services. Why is this so important? Because many of our clients lack reliable transportation, which means they often miss appointments for critical services like energy assistance, Head Start enrollment, or food access at our produce center. Without transportation, a simple appointment becomes an insurmountable obstacle and needs go unmet. The beauty of this program is its simplicity and efficiency. Residents can visit any agency and a representative can call 440-245-1870 to request vouchers, then use VIA LC's existing on-demand transit service to reach their destinations. We're not creating new infrastructure, we're maximizing a system that's already working well with over 10,000 rides in the first 2 months of operations. What makes this program particularly effective is that it removes the final barrier to self-sufficiency to many residents. We can offer all the services in the world, but if people can't physically get to them, we're not fulfilling our mission. We're tracking usage patterns and service completion rates to demonstrate impact. Early results show that when transportation barriers are removed, appointment completion rates increase significantly, meaning more residents receive the services that they need. Vouchers for free rides can also be picked up at Lorain County Community Action Agency's office at 936 Broadway on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 8 and 11 a.m. or between 1 and 3 p.m. And all you need is a valid photo ID. And that's what I like to share with you guys this afternoon.
Did you know that, Karen?
I did not.
Oh, my gosh. So I understand, because since this is such a valuable service in the community, are you hearing such feedback from
So
people?
yeah, so I get a chance to go into our HEAP offices all the time, and when I see the residents there, first thing I ask, are they taking care of you? They say yes, and I ask, how did you get here today? And they say the VIA. We took advantage of VIA. We have some employees that use the VIA service as well through our OMJ work experience program. And like I said, with Produce Center, we've had a VIA vehicle come through our Produce Center to get fresh produce at our through community action. So we're starting to see that, and we're very excited to pilot the pilot program so that when we go to address any type of budget revisions with our CSBG grant, we can say we have a program that can address transportation barriers.
So how much of that grant did you guys set aside for the free passes?
So right now, we received a mini grant from the Lakeland County Fund.
Okay.
And so we want to see, what's going to be the response. We hope to blow through that money. Again, we want to extend it to other agencies as well, that they can call the number. And so we're hoping that with this no closed door, where people can just go anywhere to get the service, that will expense the money quickly, and then we'll start to set aside money in our budget. We're already doing the BICAR program with Ohio Means Jobs, and we have money set aside for that, but we know how important VIA is for this. And we know that the cost for VIA, I know I'm a type A, right? So as soon as I get up here, we know that the cost for VIA, although it's only like $1 and $2, that's not the full cost. So we're hoping to maybe, contribute a little bit more to
That's kind of where I was
offset the
asking
cost.
the question,
Yeah,
to mitigate our $18
Exactly.
roughly per ride.
That's
If there's
right.
a way to get, Karen's working on talking to a whole bunch of people about how do we get more money from all these other agencies, so.
Yeah. So that's what our community service block grant's all about.
Well, cool. That's great news. Thank you.
Also encourage the participants to contact their legislators to help us fund this in the future.
Yeah.
Very important, whether it be your local, city, state, and, us county, we, I believe, all three of us support it. I know, I've heard it from all of us in one way or another, but we do support the program, so very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, our public hearing isn't for 20 minutes, so can we do an exec in 20?
We're gonna do it.
Are we?
So I move to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters.
Is there anything
No,
else
I
you want
thought
to
you
discuss
said it was
today?
labor
Legal?
contracts.
Well, labor
Okay.
contracts, yes.
I just make sure. I mean, you do both, but,
Yep.
I'll second that.
okay. Discussion. Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Gallagher.
Aye.
We'll be back in 20 minutes. Stay tuned.
Yes, for those that are in the room, there'll be some people coming in. There's a 4:30 hearing on the permissive tax.
Guess you just adjourn. We're back.
Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
Is there any further business? Seeing none, move to adjourn.
So moved, right?
Well, we have to vote. We're just adjourned now, so.
Okay, but you gotta give Victor a minute, cause he's gotta turn everything
Off.